What's going on, YouTube? Out here in the shop today doing some work. Last time you guys had seen from the last clip was the deck. I had since gotten that all done. Give you a little shot of it here. Everything came out pretty good. I think it all looks really good myself. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I'm on to the next two panels out here. I'm working on that panel, and I got a panel up there on the table that I'm working on. We got a new face in the shop today. The crew guy, Nate Ott, aka Tater. He's up here. He's got the bumper pulled off the car, and he's pulling the radiator out. We're going to do a video today of replacing our rack boot. So that's what we're doing today in the shop. I'm currently working myself right now on the oil cooler panel for the decking. Right here. Laying out my holes. Those holes will be, they'll look just like these ones over here on this panel. I don't know if you can see it, but they're all countersunk rounded in. Nice and clean holes. So we'll go ahead and get you set up on a time lapse. You guys can watch me pulling those out and doing those holes. Alright, so as you've seen on the time warp, me cutting these holes out and dimpling these holes. So if you take a look real close, you can see this is a dimpler. Custom made, they do sell them, but Turnworks Machine and Fabrication made us this dimpler. It's just a little panel, and this nylon is chamfered, so as you squish it down, it chamfers the hole of the aluminum. It'll take and make a nice little chamfer in there. Helps with strength and just aesthetically looks pleasing. So what you see me doing over here on the table was I had all my holes laid out for all this. This is a cutter. You just thread it through, and as you thread it through, you meet this on the back side, and you just run it in there with an impact, and it pulls this end to the cup and cuts your aluminum out for your dimple size. Perfect little circles. And then you just go ahead and hit your dimpler, clean everything up real nice, have a done panel. Say hi, Carmi. Alright, so doing a little training today. Got my tire guy here, Nate, as you introduced himself in the last clip. Kind of training him how to do some of this stuff. Obviously you see me doing this panel. Now we're getting it drilled down, riveted onto the existing deck that I've already gotten built onto the car for being final. He does a lot of, he mostly does most of our tires work and stuff like that, week to week maintenance at the racetrack, and He's just a busy man, so it's hard to get him out here. So when he does come out here, I try to get him on something that, you know, I can train him on, and I usually don't have to train him twice. Once I show him something, he gets it down, and that's one less thing I got to do. I can think about other stuff like setups and, you know, making custom cool stuff or things like that. But so this is just the process of putting the panel on the car. You pretty much are going to come in here and get it all laid out. These are our cooler holes. This is where the oil cooler will mount underneath. And then you lay out your rivet holes in the panel so that it's all nice and symmetrical. And then you go through and drill it, pop the rivet. For those of you that don't know what a rivet is, so this is what they look like. Nate, let me see that. Bring that up here.
Sorry.
So this is a rivet. You just throw it in the chuck like so, like that, and then go ahead and pull the trigger, and it pops out into a span like so. And obviously it's not all the way pulled yet. It'll completely pull flush and tight, and it'll break this steel shank off, and it'll hold this panel tight into place. And then if you need them, you just drill them out with a drill bit. So that's that. Alright, so I got that oil cooler panel on, and I got this panel riveted on. So the next thing to do is to come out here, and I got to build my outside panel. Now I don't have anything to come off of, so we're building this from scratch. So the best way to do it is to lay this string line here, get it square to your deck panel that's already mounted. And then once you lay this string line, you go ahead and take your tape measure, lay out your tape measure, and figure out your distances here. So you take that 15-inch number, write that down on your paperwork, come up to the front here, do your fucking number, your 15-inch number. You want to do your underlap, figure it all out, which turns to 15. Write that number down, and then you'll add extra for your breakdowns for strength on each side. So we're going to go ahead and throw you on time warp while I actually lay this panel out and get it built. All right.
Probably about once or twice a year.
So here's what happens when the body guy moves too fast and starts not double checking and triple checking his thoughts. Is you get building this panel, you come over here for your first fitment, and you forgot to add an extra 2.5 inches that you were supposed to add that you didn't. So you scrap this entire sheet and you have to start over. Body guy's fault.
So one of the things I'm working on today, getting the hood pin standoff done. I thought I'd show you guys a little bit about doing this because it's not just as simple as putting something on. Now there's a bunch of tools that you can use to do this stuff, and don't think you need all kind of special tooling. You can easily just do this with a grinder, make a fish mouth notch, and that'll get you your radius for your tubing. So what we're doing here, we got the bumper off and the radiator out now, and so what we're doing is the same thing we did on the other side. We talked about this in a previous video. So in order to do this, you're essentially putting a piece of tube around this piece of tube, right? So how the hell you do that, right? Well, one really easy way, and a pretty slick little tool that we have here at the shop, is the tubing notcher. So I'll show you what I got set up here. So this is the tubing notcher. It's pretty simple. It just hooks to a drill press, and you can set the degrees. So you can set it to where it runs in straight, or you could set it to whatever angle you need, right? In this particular case, on the driver's side, we need that 15-degree angle. So what happens is I just loosen this up, slide that a little bit farther forward, and then this hole saw right here, just run that down through, and what that does, cuts them little slugs out and gives me a real nice radius, like you can see here. So that way our tube fits around our other tube really well. We got a nice cope there, and then we're able to weld that right up. It's a stronger weld. It's a much nicer looking weld because all your seams are tight and clean. So I just wanted to show you a little bit about how I make these things. This is no secret or anything like that. These are, a lot of people do this kind of stuff, but this is some of the tooling that we got here to be able to do this stuff, and we're fortunate to have that. So I'll get the cap welded on. These are just tube caps that we buy. So that'll essentially go on there like that. We'll get that welded on there, all ground flush, and then we'll be able to cut the hood pin off the car, prep everything up in the surface there, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done.
All right, I just wanted to give you guys all an update on where we're at. Last thing you guys had seen, I was getting finished up on the front part of the deck. Got that all done, finished up. This panel's done, and I got the oil cooler door built and on its hinge, done. Went ahead and moved on to the back of the deck back here. Got this outside panel done and the center panel done. Got 2 more panels to go back here, get it all buttoned up. And up front, BJ went ahead and he got the hood pin all buttoned up on Sun. Well, finished up. It still needs welded and whatnot, or painted. Came out pretty good. Looks nice and pretty. So that's where we're at with everything. We live in Northwest Ohio, and anybody that's not in the area knows, or not in the area that don't know, we're fixing to get hit with like 15 to 18 inches of snow, I believe, possibly 22. So that's going to be a mess that we're going to be digging out of tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday. So should be a good time. But that's where we're at. Hopefully we get this deck finished up this weekend and move on to the next step. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week.